Welcome back, everybody. We just did a couple of hours talking about servant behaviour. Really affected us, blew our brains out, convicted us, made us manifest a bit, and we can see what behaviour Yahusha requires from us. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper, a little bit more personal, practical.
Ooh, here we go, Robert. Deeper and personal.
You should like this word, Robert, because you just did a course on it.
Did he?
He did a hospitality course.
Oh.
So,
2 certificates.
So, he hasn't got one. So, this one kind of jumps in and out of spiritual, practical, worldly, spiritual.
Supernatural.
Yeah, so it jumps around, so you've got to kind of follow the dot a bit here. Watch Yahusha telling us through simple hospitality, alright? Because I believe our homes should be homes of hospitality. Our spaces, our behaviour. For those of you who don't have homes, have rooms, have jobs, have behaviours, friendships. It's a feeling, it's an attitude, it's a servant. So remember, this is carrying on from the servant behaviour, alright?
Dollar the fot.
Yeah, dollar the fot, mate. Dollar your fot. Hospitality behaviour. We're all going to have to talk up with the rain. When we think of serving, we may think of helping people at the point of their need. The hungry, the lonely, the imprisoned, the oppressed, the homeless, the mentally ill, and so forth. All of whom Yahusha may call among us as he did us. We may also think of serving as an attitude towards others that manifests itself in putting them before ourselves, helping others in some way, whether or not they ask for it or even realize it. Anyone can serve others. It does not require any special skills or experiences, only the willingness. This is the key, willingness to help others as you have the opportunity. Willingness and opportunity is key here. However, there are observable behavioural traits in those who do serve. Here are the qualities of servants. Firstly, humility. Serving begins with humility. Some might argue that it begins with an opportunity, like encountering a person in need. Some might say you have to have someone to help before you can help them. However, without humility, we won't even recognise the opportunity. We'll just keep walking. We'll just carry on or do something that we want to do. Remove ourselves from the situation. If we're not being humble, we won't even see any opportunity. What is humility? Humility is the quality of having a modest or low view of one's importance.
It's hard to get to.
Yeah. For example, he needs the humility to accept that their way is better. So he, the one we're looking at, he needs the humility to realise that their way of doing things is better than his way. Yeah? Humility. So remember the servant, remember the royal palace and the servant in the corner. Remember that imagery we were using before? Think of that. Think of how am I supposed to behave in the royal courts of Yahusha. Humility is the first one. So it sounds like true humility is not doing things your way, but someone else's. And that someone else's would be whoever you're serving, whoever you've chosen to serve. Yeah. And ultimately, of course, it's doing it Yahusha's way. wanting to serve and please the people around you. He's serving Yahusha. At its base, serving, and I'm just going to keep carrying on, so if you really get good ideas, just break in and tell me, yeah?
So you mean to say, if Teresa's in the kitchen and Robert comes in, she's got to do it his way?
Depends if he...
Has a better way.
Yeah, if you think you've got a better way. So, Mum, I think there's a better way to do this, and I'd love to see the reaction.
Do you know I actually get him to cut tomatoes for the couscous salad because he does it better than me?
There you go.
So you see.
Skills, mate.
I'm just using it being fun,
Well, I'll give him that compliment. You do that better than me. Go for it.
Yeah, that's the way.
But that is exactly what we do. If I know my wife likes something a certain way, likes certain foods or doesn't like certain foods, I could say, well, I like this food, I'm going to do it my way. Or I could say, I will make it nice for her. If I'm serving her the whole time and she's serving me the whole time, everybody's served. Yeah. If I'm serving me and she's serving me, I'm really happy and she's neglected, or vice versa. Yeah. If everybody's serving each other, everybody gets served. And everybody's gifts, that doesn't mean we all go to get drinks at the same time. It means everybody's got gifts, to use. So, at its base, serving is giving some of yourself to someone else. Some of your time, some of your wisdom, some of your strength, some of your resources. It is letting go of something in your possession for the benefit of others.
Yeah.
Good way to look at that is nothing is yours anyway. It's all been given to you by Yahusha. You're just a steward of it. So if he asks you to share it or use it to help someone else, you're more than happy to do that. The more you give, he helps you. Humility is the willingness to play second fiddle. For without it, you ask any orchestra conductor, without the second fiddle, there's no harmony. So, and harmony is beautiful. If you've only got one violin, it's a bit boring. Two violins in harmony.
Yeah.
So it means if we're willing to take second fiddle, make someone else more important, there's going to be more harmony in the home or wherever we are. Yeah. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. What's the difference? Thinking less of yourself is running yourself down.
Yeah.
Not realizing who you are, who you're actually serving, but thinking of yourself less. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humility is not a sign of weakness.
Certainly not.
Humility is not sitting on the sidelines. Humility is the courage to be honest with yourself and those around you. Humility is being teachable, and humility is allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which means vulnerable means exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally, which we don't have to be afraid of, because if Yahusha's for us, who can be against us? We can be vulnerable to people, open up our hearts, and no, it's going to be all right. So that's humility. That's the first step of being a hospitable servant. Humility. It's not about us, it's about everybody else in the room. Yeah? How well you can cruise through a room and do what Yahusha asks you to do without anybody noticing. Yeah? Humility. And if somebody comments on what you're doing, then you oh, thank you, that's lovely. But then you still think of the servant in the hotel with all the cameras on him and the boss is watching. Yes, that's thank you for the compliment, and then he's gone. You know? If he stands to linger and, oh yes, it's not my fault, someone's giving it to me, cameras are watching, oi, that's not how we behave in this establishment. You know, so it's got to be really careful to be friendly, but get back in your place, you know. Seeing needs. Number 2, seeing needs. A true servant is a person who sees the needs of others, being observant and compassionate to the needs of others. Society in general doesn't see others' needs because we don't want to see them. However, a true servant's eyes are wide open to the needs around them, using Yahusha's spirit to discern the required behaviour. Do you know what's stopping people? And it used to be a young person thing, but I noticed it with my own parents who were here. You know what's stopping people from observing the needs of others around them?
Thinking of them.
What is everybody
all the
looking at?
time.
Look at what everybody's looking at.
All right.
So, pull your phone out, darling, and start looking at it. I was going to do it, but I don't have one. Pull your phone out while we're talking and just stare at it. Now we're looking at body language. What's that just showing everybody in the room?
They're not interested.
I've got a life, thank you very much. I've got connections. I've got other things to do. I'm a busy person. I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm out. Now, years ago, when we were kids, I didn't have phones, but that's just something, like if I got to do that, like I feel guilty. Like that's a, excuse me everybody, and you do it as quickly as possible because I'm the servant. And you're back to the conversation. Nowadays, young and old, I just see them at the cafe, husband and wife. And you could have done that at home.
Yeah.
You know, like no communication, no looking. What do you need, darling? What do you feel today, darling? What do you? It's all me.
Yeah.
I've got everything, my whole life in this device. Banking, friends, entertainment, games. I've got everything right here. I don't need to be part of this.
No.
This is my backup plan for if I get bored.
Yeah.
People who are serving never get bored
No.
because there's always something to do or someone to talk to
Yeah.
or something that needs doing. You know, that's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
It used to be the old people complaining about the young people, but now I'm noticing clients, my parents, all the old people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own addiction in this. This owns me.
Yeah.
You know? So, a servant is aware, watching the plays, watching what needs to go. Like we just put this thing up yesterday. I'm keeping an eye on the water.
Yeah.
You know, it's doing all right.
Yeah.
Now you're watching around all the time
Yeah.
for what's going on, the mood, the feeling, the attitude. Who needs drinks? Who did you know? When you're you don't tell anybody. You know, I'm saying it now because we're talking about it, but
Yeah.
you're just watching. You
That's
know,
right.
how can I contribute to this? You know, phones are the worst thing. Even they're all saying today, don't give your kids one
Yeah.
until they're old enough that it's a necessity. Don't.
Yeah.
You're frying their brains. That they can't be entertained. They will whinge. They will complain. They will because they're just into this. Anyway, let's go on. It's about seeing needs, being present in the moment. Number 3, compassion. Compassion is being moved by another's pain or need. It is grounded in empathy or the ability to put oneself into another's situation as if it were our own. Empathy is not the same as sympathy, nor is compassion the same, because sympathy is pity. Maybe heartfelt regret for another's need, but it doesn't lead to action. You can feel sorry for someone and do nothing about it. We shouldn't look down on anyone unless we're willing to help them up. Empathy is thinking, what can I do? How can I serve? How can I help? You know, the world often just says, oh, well, I just gave them money. Well, we don't deal a lot with monies here because we don't have a lot, but the point is you help people help themselves. You share a meal with people, uplift people. You don't just hand out money to people because if it's a addiction or something, they'll just go and use it on the wrong thing.
Exactly.
So you're best to love them and use meals and encouragement and fellowship to help people.
Yeah.
Use everything you've got at your disposal. So the role model for compassion, of course, is the Good Samaritan. In Yahusha's telling of the story, he says that when the Samaritan saw the robbery victim, he had compassion on him. Remember the story? A man gets mugged in the street. 2 or 3 priests and leaders walk past and just cross the road and ignore him. Filthy little peasant. But this guy has compassion on him. And he proceeded to bind up the man's wounds, carry him to a safe place where he could recover. So the point is clear. Compassionate love leads to serving someone somehow. Yeah?
Yes.
And we all know what we're good at. We all know our gifts based on our abilities, age, energy, everything. We know what we're called to be, do in our quarries, in our fellowship, and in society in general. We know what we're good at, and we know what Yahushua wants us to practice more of. So, 4. This is a good one. Hospitality takes courage. Serving others will inevitably lead to situations that move you out of your comfort zone. Fact is, when you give yourself in response to another's need, you become vulnerable to their pain, and you may feel uncomfortable or inadequate, which is wrong thinking. In fact, that whole sentence is all wrong thinking. The fact that you have a comfort zone is wrong thinking. The fact that you can be hurt by someone else's pain is wrong thinking. The fact that you can be uncomfortable, or it's all wrong thinking, because a servant has given their life to Yahusha. See what I mean?
Yeah.
A servant, true servant, is one who pushes past fear to serve, whether that fear is from real or perceived danger, or merely just discomfort from unfamiliar circumstances, or speaking out the truth. Push through it. Fear can paralyze us if we choose to listen to those thoughts. What does it boil down to again? Thoughts. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. Oh, would you just shut up and go, with all these thoughts. Get lost. Get lost. The person in front of you is more important than the thoughts that you're getting. Yeah? If we do, we are ignoring the needs of another person and focusing on ourselves, which is ignoring what Yahushua is doing. Self-protection works to our benefit, but we can, if we choose, set it aside for someone more important than us. So you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah. Does it really take courage if we're following Yahushua?
Certainly does.
Yep.
Yeah. Next, it takes a sense of responsibility. A servant usually feels responsible not for the pain or suffering of another, but to help alleviate their suffering. A sense of responsibility can come from 2 sources. One is a strong sense of community, that you are part of a larger community and bear some responsibility to make it a better place. So you pay your taxes, you obey the laws, you refuse to litter, and do what you can to serve the less fortunate. That's just general society getting along. Serving is simply one way of being a good citizen. But for us who are followers of Yahushua, being a humble servant is a matter of obedience to his royal laws of love. And what does he say? If we're doing his royal laws of love and his fruits of the Spirit, what can come against us?
Nothing.
Nothing. There's no law against us, because we're doing it better than them.
Yeah.
Should be. Through Yahusha's life and word, we can see that he has a special place in his heart for the poor and the oppressed. So serving becomes a matter of acting on his behalf, or better yet, allowing yourself to be an instrument of help and healing in his hands. Doing things Yahusha's way and not our own way means we take on the behaviour of a servant in our home, quarry and community. So, before we go into some more practical application, does anybody want to say how that's affected them there? There's 5 steps that we've talked about. Humility, seeing the needs and being aware, compassion, courage, and a sense of responsibility. Anything jump out?
For me, it's there's always more I can do.
Always more you can do?
It's like, oh, looking at that, I can do more. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, we're investigating this.
Yeah.
We're deciding this is what should happen in our homes, where we should practice it
Yes.
and get better at it.
Yeah.
So let's look at some practical application. Where'd Robert go?
Wasn't going to be.
Oh, okay. Behavioural training for a royal servant or luxury hospitality. So a lot of this is from a manual on how to treat people in a train people in a high-end hotel. Yeah? I just want you to see, because if we're knowing how to be hospitable to the standard of the world, if we can do it the world's way,
That's it.
you know, Yahusha's is much better, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Serving in an environment of royalty or high-end hospitality demands a unique set of behaviours, skills and attitudes. Now remember, this is practical. What does Yahusha want us to do in this? This training is designed to foster an understanding of how to interact with guests with the utmost respect, professionalism and warmth, ensuring a memorable and comfortable experience. Isn't that what people want to feel after being in your home?
Yeah.
Let's bring it to our homes.
Yes.
Comfortable, memorable experience. Below are key areas of focus, including practical applications regarding speech, body language and behaviour to cultivate excellence in service as a servant. As we discussed before, it is about the behaviour, it is about the feeling and the movement of the spirit, but if there's all these other things in the way, that's going to interrupt that, isn't it? It's going to interfere with what Yahusha's doing. So let's look at them. 1. Professional appearance. Always wear a well-tailored, clean uniform or formal attire that adheres to the established dress code. If you want to know how to dress to suit the occasion, pay attention to grooming. Maintain a neat hairstyle, clean your nails and polish your shoes. Conduct regular self-checks in mirrors before entering guest areas to ensure you maintain a professional image. Don't think we need to say more. We all know how to stay well groomed, don't we? Make sure. Good. Body language is very important. Maintain an upright posture when standing or walking. This conveys confidence and readiness to assist. Keep your shoulders relaxed yet back to exhibit openness and attentiveness. So it's about body language. Are you, just because you're a servant and not drawing attention to yourself, does that mean you're cowering in the corner? Or are you there? Not as staunch as being standing at attention, or, you know, in our situation, we're all sitting around, we're relaxed. But, you know, it's behaviour.
Yeah.
We're ready, we're watching. Establish friendly and respectful eye contact when speaking to guests, demonstrating engagement and sincerity. Employ warm, genuine smiles. Avoid overly serious expressions that could intimidate or discourage communication. I should have taken my kids through this, as we discussed many years ago. How to greet people. Hi, look in your eyes, shake your hand. How you going? You know, like, whatever you're doing, we're usually fiddling around with drinks, we're usually fiddling around with microphones and cameras. If someone walks in, what's more important? The people are more important. We've all done it the wrong way. What is Yahusha showing us?
The right way.
The right way. You drop what you're doing. Hi. Pleasant. Eye contact. You know? It's very simple.
Yeah.
Because somebody, particularly if they're new, can be really off-put. Like, they're already freaked out because they don't know us. And if we're too busy stuffing around with this and that, oh, that's more important. Oh, this is more important. You know? There's a person. You know? So we drop what we're doing. We can go back to what we need to do. You know? We work as a team. So, number 3, speech and communication. Use a calm, soft, pleasant tone. Opt for a higher pitch while speaking to instill a sense of warmth and friendliness. Now, obviously, I see this as instruction for people who are waiting tables and dealing with, you know, concierge and dealing with clients, and it's hotel type stuff. But just take it in, see what it's saying to us. Use a high pitch, instill a sense of warmth and friendliness. Use formal language and proper titles when addressing guests, sir, madam, tailored to the ranking or status of the guest. Yeah? We can do that. You can kick around, you can treat little kids differently to the way you would treat older people. You tailor your expression, your behaviour, so that everybody feels comfortable and respected, Make sense? Yeah. Avoid slang, jargon, overly casual expressions. Maintain professionalism at all times. Employ positive phrasing. Focus on what can be done rather than what cannot be done. Use phrases like, I'd be happy to assist you with that, instead of saying, I can't do that. We don't do that, I can't do that, It's a positive. Let me look into it. I can make it positive. Not just I can't do that. It's negative. Always be the first to make eye contact. Always be the first to greet your guests, making the atmosphere pleasant and comfortable for all. It's like a little game. It's like a race.
It is, isn't it?
That's what we used to say to the kids in the salon. When the client walks in, where have you gone?
Went out the other door.
Oh. It's like a little race. When people walk in the door, don't be waiting to get their attention. You give them your attention. You're the winner. You gave in and said, hello, how you going? So that's speech and communication. Very important. Number 4, anticipating needs. Be observant. This came down to the smart devices again. You can't be observant and attentive if you've got your head in your phone. Be observant and attentive to non-verbal cues. What are non-verbal cues in the room?
Someone could just be going like this to try and get your attention
Yeah.
without going,
Yes. Yes. And a good servant is watching each table. A good servant is watching each person. Particularly if you're the host, watching what people need. Christopher got up by himself before, but I was nearly on my knees.
You saw that?
I saw it. You're watching. Really, he beat me to it. You're watching. You're waiting. Yeah? That's just a silly example, but you're watching to see what everybody needs. Now, I'm not preaching this to you because I haven't been like this for a long time. I was trained in it and I abandoned it, and Yahushua wants it back.
Yeah.
Alright? Because I'm a lot happier in myself when I'm doing what he wants me to do, which is, because that's what my depression was about. I could see all this going around me and wouldn't do anything about it.
No.
And he showed me, if you're a servant, you do about what you see. You do something about what you see. In everybody, in the situation, in the mood, in the speech, in everything. Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is our way in our homes. So you're anticipating needs. Non-verbal cues. Many guests may indicate their needs through body language or subtle hints rather than direct requests. Maintain vigilance for signs that a guest may need assistance or information. Take proactive steps to ask if guests need anything or other additional services without waiting to be asked. Because we want people to be welcome. Yeah? Make sense? It's very important. People will walk away from this and they'll be like, yeah, there's a different vibe there. I feel like I felt Yahusha. Shame about this though. Shame about that though.
Yes.
What about him? What about her? They'll have notes.
Yeah.
So we have to make our behaviour better than the world's. So active listening. This is part of not only Yahusha, listening to Yahusha, but how you can have conversations. Listen to what people are saying and ride that wave. Engagement. Listen actively. Nodding appropriately to demonstrate understanding and attentiveness. Reaffirm guest statements by using paraphrasing. This confirms you have understood and value their words. How many times you make an order and they don't even write it down and you think, are you really good at this? Or you just don't care.
Yes.
Whereas if they've just said back to you, paraphrase what you've just said, oh yeah, you got it, great. You've made them feel comfortable. You're listening, yeah. So If unsure, politely ask for clarification in a non-confrontational manner. Use phrases such as, "Could you please elaborate on that?" to show interest without coming off as presumptuous. That's all about behaviour again. Serving techniques. When serving food or beverages, present items elegantly. Maintain a graceful posture as you serve. Like I'm trying to buzz around here with drinks, and I'm very conscious of the fact that Christopher and Rob are having a conversation. And I've gone through about 5 times. It's breaking something here. It's just the way it's set up, but I'm conscious. You're conscious of what's going on. If I'm having a conversation here, Trace is buzzing around. If I notice that she's having a conversation, well, then I'm like, well, you're the servant, you got to do it. No, I will back up.
Yeah.
Like you, conscious, because Yahusha comes first. The conversation in the spirit is more important. Yeah?
Yes.
In fact, that's more important than any of us put together, what Yahusha's doing in the room. So, food, beverages, present items elegantly, maintaining a graceful posture as you serve. That's more to do with putting things on tables. Don't just bang food down in front of people or glasses in front of them. Hold items at a comfortable height and angle for the guests, ensuring they can easily receive them. Monitor the timing of your service. Ensure that dishes are served promptly at the appropriate temperature and that guests' glasses are filled regularly without being intrusive. So remember, you're supposed to not be noticed. We're trying to skim in and out of the room and not draw attention to yourself. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the goal. Serving under royalty or in the high-end hospitality sector demands a meticulous approach to behaviour, speech, body language and cleanliness. By cultivating a strong sense of professionalism, attentiveness and sincere hospitality, one can embody the principles of excellent service, enriching every guest's experience. And there's nothing better than sitting under that, is there? It's wonderful. It lifts you. And this is just in the practical sense. Even without the spirit of you, it's wonderful to sit under beautiful service. Because for most of us, we're in the servant industry. We have to serve people. It's really nice on those occasions where you get to be served. It lifts you right up. So in conclusion, embracing discipline, routine, cleanliness and order in every area of your life. So your whole life is set up, ready to serve Yahusha. If somebody pops in at any moment, do you have to take 3 hours to reset your house to wait? Or is your house ready?
It's got a vacuum.
Yeah, I've got to vacuum the whole house. Don't come over right now, no. Yeah, I mean, obviously a house is lived in, but you're ready for Yahusha to move in wherever he's going to go. Your house is ready into hospitality. So we've got order in every area of our life. We not only feel happier and content, so if we do this, we not only feel happier and content because of Yahusha's favour, we are also opening ourselves up to serving and loving him by making ourselves and our homes ready every day for the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. The spectacular and the miraculous supernatural. You can't plan for that, but you can have things relatively ready, can't you?
Yeah.
People pop in. And remember, we want this to snowball. We're in the last days. We want more people to catch Yahusha. We want to move, so we have to make our homes ready for people to be able to come over and As Yahusha's servants in our quarries and communities, are we to adopt this behaviour of loving hospitality towards each other?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yes.
Yes, we need to.
That's where the study ends, and then I just added this last bit because I really liked it. So we'll just go through this bit here. So this is how we do a little bit of a test inside ourselves, where we can grow and where we can improve. Real servants make themselves available to serve, morning to night. Obviously we have routines, we have jobs, we have whatever we've got to do, but outside of that, Yahusha wants this to happen. And usually during that as well. Real servants make themselves available to serve. A real servant does not fill up their time with other pursuits, other desires or other hobbies that will limit their availability to serve. Think about this in your own life. What's getting in my way from being available all the time to serve others? even if those others are just people that I live with for now, because they're the people we're practicing on. We need to be ready and available to serve Yahusha when he moves by the wind of his spirit at any time, even when it may be most convenient. But here's the inconvenient, even when it may be most inconvenient. But here's the thing: there's no such thing as inconvenient for a love slave, because a love slave within themselves is standing at attention in the corner, ready for whoever needs. You know?
Yeah.
Now, you're not standing there in the corner physically all day every day. You're serving, but inside yourself, you're waiting for Yahusha, and you're ready because you're watching in a room, wherever you are. You're watching, waiting to serve. So there really isn't any inconvenient time, is there?
No.
Yeah. And if there is, like, I've just got to do a client, I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
Just give me 5 minutes, you know, like, or yeah, give us an hour, yeah, whatever. You're ready to move. Yeah. So, real servants pay attention to needs. A real servant is always on the lookout for needs and for ways they can help meet those needs. When we find a need, we are to give it preference and not put it off until we feel like doing it. We are to hear Yahusha's instruction and do it his way and not our own way or in our own time. Get that? We're ready. We're willing. We don't fill our lives with other things. And then when Yahusha does move, it's such an inconvenience. Yeah?
Yes.
Because we're love slaves. We don't have our own lives.
No.
Our whole lives are just set up and we're waiting to serve him. Yeah?
Yes.
If he can't trust us to serve people, why would he send people?
That's it.
They'll just be hurt or it'll be a waste. Real servants do their best with what they have. A real servant does not make excuses or procrastinate. That just means wait until tomorrow. Yeah, I don't feel I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Weeks go past and never gets done. Don't make excuses or wait for better circumstances. We need to do the best we can to help out with every resource and energy that Yahusha has given us. Yeah?
Yes.
Real servants do every task with equal dedication. A real servant does every task with all their heart. We cannot fall into the trap of thinking that we are too important to help out with any task, no matter how menial they may seem. Yahusha was an amazing example of someone who did the tasks of a servant, whether it was washing feet or helping and serving others. And who was he? Alahim,
Greatest of all.
Yes.
greatest of all, and he got down on his knees and served others. Yeah? He was kind, he served them.
To his creation.
Yeah. Real servants are faithful to their calling. A real servant will finish their tasks, fulfill their responsibilities, and complete their commitments before going on to anything else. Yahusha is the center and most important person to them, and pleasing him through their service to others is what they live for. What they live for. And set up their whole lives to achieve. We need to be dependable. When we say we're going to do something, we need to do it promptly and faithfully. Yeah? Take all this in. We're to start implementing this in our quarries, guys. Real servants maintain a low profile. A real servant will not call attention to themselves. Remember the servant in the hallway of the king? A real servant will not call attention to themselves or promote themselves. We need to do what we are called to do with humility and look for eternal rewards, not rewards from others. Now we understand that. This is why. This is where our contentment, inner contentment and joy will spring from. Knowing within that people, you can see it. You know what you've done, whether it be anything you've done towards to help. You know what you've done. You know yourself between you and Yahusha what you've done. You're looking at your eyes. You're seeing people enjoying it or being encouraged by it. You know yourself. Knowing within that people enjoy the fruits of your labour, which is our private worship and adoration to Yahusha. who gives us great satisfaction. It's between you and Yahusha. You know what you have done. You know the things that he's told you to do, and you jerked your responsibility or you've done it half-assed. You know inside yourself, even if you've been able to just pull it off, you know how rushed, or you know how, you know inside yourself what you have and haven't done. So you get satisfaction or you don't get satisfaction. Yahusha starts from nothing. So let's start practicing this. Was that helpful?
Oh,
Going through the hotel of the king?
definitely. It was amazing.
Yeah?
Mm.
So it's not to make us feel bad.
No,
It's to show us how Yahusha behaved.
Yeah.
Nothing was more important than the person in front of him.
No.
Yeah? So, how do you think you can implement this, Mikey? Let's go around. What did you feel and hear going through all those words?
To take more priority in serving others than ourselves, and
Yeah.
listening to them, caring about them, rather than just thinking about what we want to do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a big deal to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, that's lovely. Yeah. Like, if we've arranged or done the ring around and say there's a meeting on, we should all get together and say, okay, what do we need to do? Do you need anything, Mum and Dad? Mikey, you can help with this. Robert, you can help with this. Teresa's got this. I've got this. You work as a team.
Yeah.
Or it might be at Chris and Victoria's house. We do the ring around. Say, what do we need? What do we need? You're ready. It's exciting. This is what we live for. Because when two or more are gathered, who's here? So you see people out there planning and preparing great dinner parties and celebrations, and this is our excitement. This is what we do. Sometimes it might be a few days in a row. So be it. It's not about the food and the drink, but what do we realise about all those menial tasks that go on in the background can either make it, can either balk Yahusha's spirit, or can either lift the experience for everybody. Yeah? That's called hospitality. It's not something that younger people are taught much. It's not something our generation's very good at. Our generation sat under a great amount of hospitality and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then when it was our turn to start being hospitable, no. We don't have friends over anymore. We don't talk to people. We're hermits. We get Uber Eats. We don't want to be hospitable. We've got a whole generation in the 40s and 50s who don't want to be hospitable. Too much effort. It's wrong, So it's good, mate.
Yeah. Well, again, I've been surprised. There's a lot more to that than. But I thought I was on the right way, but there's a lot more to it. So yeah, a lot more to sink in. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's just about doing this in your life.
Yeah, it's about implementing it,
Putting
starting doing it.
putting the other person above yourself.
Yeah.
And they'll start to notice.
Yeah.
And they'll start to enjoy it. And they might start to break you. But the servant doesn't care about that.
No.
So, yeah. You weren't here for most of it. What do you think, Dale?
You can still ask him.
Oh, yeah, what did you get out of it, Robert?
It's better to be hospitable to everyone in your own home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when you're at work.
Or
So, if we get, say, a mother and father with a couple of kids that might be teenagers come over, there might be some conversation going on, and we say, oh, guys, go upstairs with Mikey and Robert. They've got cool stuff upstairs. You enjoy it. Are your rooms, are your living areas hospitable? Are they ready for guests? We have to live. That's how I look. When I was your age, I was doing up my room. I didn't have a house. I was doing up my room. I wanted to look funky. Had pride in what I've got. Because I had lots of friends back then. I was thinking, come on over. Start where you're at. Start with what you own. Start with what your responsibilities are. your body, your bed, your room. Be faithful in what you're given, and Yahusha can trust you with more. Yeah? This sort of stuff's going to happen. You saw a couple of them come into the salon when we had meetings. People come in with families. You guys are going to play a role in it. So you got to be ready too.
Yeah.
All of us.
Definitely don't be closed off to the kids, because the kids don't want to be speaking to Dad and I or Chris and Victor. They want to be speaking to the younger people, because the younger people are more on their level.
Yeah. So hospitality goes into all that too. That's good, mate. What do you think, darling?
Well, there's definitely a lot to the servant behaviour, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot to it.
Did you feel the knife?
Points.
I got the knife.
Points where I did. And we've all got to make sure that that's what we're doing. We're here to serve. We're here to be Yahusha's servants, to do his work for him. So, and if we're not doing that, then we're not trusted and faithful servants, then, are we? So that's how I see it.
We start practicing this on each other.
Yes.
Victor?
To help Victor, I've got to put the garbage bin out twice a week instead of once.
Twice a week now.
Put it out and bring it in.
No, I'm just saying I've got to do it twice. I only come once.
That's it. Put it out
Silly.
the night before and then bring it in the
Bring it
day.
Does he do okay with that, Victor?
Yeah.
Tick.
Yeah, I remind him
And I have
sometimes.
to take the basket after the washing and put it in the place where it goes for it to collect the dirty.
Smiley face on his chore chart.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
he does it wonderfully.
With a happy
with
attitude,
joy.
but does he do it happily?
Yeah,
Yes, I
the
think.
right
He's
attitude.
probably there going like this down there.
That's funny.
Singing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning."
Yeah.
You're next.
This is a wonderful study. It's just so important, I believe, for everybody, brothers and sisters. So interesting how you brought it.
Yeah.
There's a thing that's pointed out to me about seeing people's needs.
Yeah.
And through the week, I don't make much contact with any of you, and I'm saying, and Lanisha, and I just feel I need to have a bit more of seeing people's needs when we're not coming together, you know, because a lot happens, and it's nice to have a bit of contact through that time, and that's what I picked up for myself. And all the hospitality, all that is just amazing, and it's so exciting. Bring it all out.
Yeah.
And the attitudes that we have with each other and the conversation, that's a lot you know, to work on.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Ever since we brought this quarry in, it's been a thorn in my side, because it's just like, guys, we're doing it at your house. It's set up. It's nice. It's ready. Well, that's not what Yahusha wants. Or, you know, when he does, it's great. But, like, you got to work out, we've all got to work out our own quarries.
Yes.
Make it hospitable and nice, you know, not just put it on them all the time. So they've been my example on hospitality, and I've sucked off it for 30 years, and now Yahusha wants me and all of us to be hospitable to each other, practice on each other, refine our craft so that when new people come in, we're good at it.
Yes.
Yeah?
And can teach it.
And can teach it. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Mel?
No. Wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, brothers and sisters. We hope you can implement this in your home quarries as well. See you later.